For the first time in his NASCAR Cup career, Kyle Busch goes winless. Is this a sign of things to come? Or does the two-time champion still have one more left in him? We're going to dive into the stats, and I'll give you my opinion at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Where do you go? Larson up top, all the way up top. Buscher, he's on the outside. He's in position. He's got it.
Jimmie Johnson through 3 and 4. Make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmie Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship.
As noted at the beginning, Kyle Busch went winless for the first time this year and missed the playoffs. He also only was able to get 5 top 5s, 10 top 10s, an average finish of 18.3, and 5 DNFs, which honestly, if you look at the tape, that feels really low considering what I thought the number was going to be, closer to what Josh Berry had at 11. However, Kyle Busch was in contention to win Spring Kansas, Indianapolis. He was second at Darlington in the fall, and at Daytona, and was a part of that 3-wide finish at Atlanta in week 2. So Kyle Busch could have easily walked away with 5 victories this season had 1 or 2 things gone differently. But as we know, the record book will only show that Kyle Busch won 0 times and never keeps track of how many times you almost won. Is this a sign of things to come for Kyle Busch? Well, his 2023 stats started off really good. He got 3 wins at Fontana, Talladega in the spring, and at Gateway. He had 10 top 5s, 17 top 10s, had a 15 flat average finish, and 6 DNFs. However, the second half of that season was just atrocious by Kyle Busch standards. He was, however, up at 5th in the regular season standings before this tumultuous second half, which unfortunately did bleed into 2024. When we look back at his final year with Joe Gibbs Racing, he had 1 win at the Bristol Dirt Track, which until Chase Briscoe took out Tyler Reddick on the final lap, looked like it wasn't going to be a win for Kyle Busch. He also only got 8 top 5s, 17 top 10s, had a 16.7 average finish, and 7 DNFs. I know most people are going to look at this and think back to Jimmie Johnson in 2017 going into 2018. Johnson had 3 wins in 17 and then failed to win again. However, Jimmie Johnson, much like Kyle Busch, continued to show flashes that he could win, including 2017 Indianapolis, the 2018 Charlotte Roval. He was leading on the last lap of Stage 1 of the 2020 Darlington first race before checking up for Chris Buescher and wrecking out. He was also the highest non-championship 4 driver at Phoenix in 2020, and I think he could have won that race had people actually been trying to win that race and not screw over the championship 4. Kyle Busch is also 39 years old, which means if we look at the average of when drivers start to retire or at least fall off for good, Kyle Busch has at least 5 good years left in him. There also have been drivers who have had winless seasons and then bounce back the next year. If we look at this, the 3 that easily come to mind are Denny Hamlin in 2018. He went winless, and then 2019 won 6 times. Kevin Harvick won winless in 2021 and won twice in 2022. Kyle Larson went winless as well in 2018 and then bounced back with a win in 2019. So it's not like once you have 1 winless season, that's it. It's all over. Kyle Busch can still bounce back, and I think he can. If you want my honest opinion, Kyle Busch could easily win 8 times next year. I know in RCR equipment that's a lot to talk about, but it's Kyle Busch. I am not counting out Kyle Busch until he retires or until he starts driving for Rick Ware Racing. That's it. If Kyle Busch continues to get behind the wheel of a race car, much like Jimmie Johnson, I'm not saying he can't win. I am going to continue to pound the drum that Kyle Busch can and will win races until he retires. But that's just my opinion. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments section below. Do you think Kyle Busch wins again? Or do you think it's over for the 2-time champ? While you're there, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe so you never miss an upload. Until next time, I'm Morgan Wiebe. Have a good day, everyone.
Where do you go? Larson up top, all the way up top. Buscher, he's on the outside.